Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, leave a subscribe, and leave a comment. If you don't like the video, that's cool. Leave a dislike, so hey, at least I know I'm doing something wrong. Okay, so today's video, I'm kind of gonna give you guys not really a ride along, but I'll be saving that for whenever I get my GoPro back. Or not really my GoPro, but my dash cam. Or GoPro dash cam, whatever you want to look at it as, it don't matter. So anyway, like I said, gonna be getting that and then doing kind of like a ride along kind of. So one thing about this car, I know I've mentioned it in a video here previously. The riding experience in this car after 2 weeks has been, it's awesome. Going from short trips, long trips, it don't matter. And even going on kind of somewhat like back roads and going on the turns and everything like that. Going uphill, it pulls itself uphill very well. Going around corners, for being such a big car, it'll handle corners phenomenally. This car is, if I remember correctly, like 4,200, 4,300 pounds. Something like that. Or no, it was 4,100. 4,100 for the front wheel drive, 4,300 for the, 4,100 for the front wheel drive, 4,200 pounds curb weight for the all wheel drive. The SEL and Limited did come with two different options. You can get one in either front wheel drive or all wheel drive options. This car, from a dead standstill, does take off like it is all wheel drive. Because it doesn't really lose traction, because the traction control system is really good in this car, where it doesn't really lose traction, so to say. You may get that slight spin when you go take off, but other than that, it just goes. So, I mean, that's pretty nice too. Here, the last couple weeks, we've gotten some pretty crappy weather. Even enough to say it as not so much snow, but we've gotten a lot of sleet and kind of a mix of a wintry mix. So to be able to actually get it tested out on, dry pavement, wet pavement, and icy pavement at the same kind of context within the same week time period, and to know, hey, it's gonna stay on the road regardless. For the most part, anyway. Now, whenever it gets really bad, that might be a different situation. Now, like a lot of people, whenever it rains, I'm not too worried about the rain. Yes, you gotta be a little more cautious, but I'm not too worried about the rain. I used to think the same thing whenever we would get snow here in Northwest Arkansas. The one thing I can say is, whenever I had my accident here a few years back, it definitely made me be more cautious on snow, sleet, and rain mix. So that one I can say I'm definitely more cautious on that aspect of it. But this actually did hold up really, really well. I'm going to picking up my little boy from school real quick, so figure this would be a good time to do a video. But anyway, sorry for the beeping and everything like that. So, because I had to start the car, you got the fun little beeping and everything like that. Anyway, so as far as handling goes, I'm actually pretty impressed with how this car is performed and has handled itself from the time I've had it. You know, going around the corners, not getting, not really, I don't really want to say get out of control with itself, like going downhill and everything like that, because, I mean, it does have pretty brand new brakes on it. Turn this down real quick. Trying to really, trying to really think of other things to say, but, for those of you guys who are new, it is a little bit, it is hard to make videos with content that are gonna keep the viewers coming back. And that's what I try doing with my channel, as I try, you know, staying active with the videos, you know, trying to keep you guys interested. And that's probably one of the biggest roadblocks I've been running into. So, anyway, like I was saying, as far as the handling with the car, dry, wet, snow, it handles really, really well, which I'm very happy with. Because whenever first started looking at cars, you know, me and my wife were looking at 2010 newer Toyota Camrys. We're looking at the Hyundai Sonata GLS, and she wanted something a little bit bigger, a little bit newer. And the newer Camrys are very nice cars. Don't get me wrong, they are very nice cars. The Sonata that we had looked at was a very nice car, but we had to put in the aspect of, you know, okay, maintenance cost. Which one is going to be easier to maintain? And the Sonata is a little bit more difficult to maintain than the Camry. But as far as maintenance cost goes, the Camry was pretty equal with the Taurus as far as maintenance goes. The Taurus is a little bit easier to work on, so a lot of the stuff that needs to be done on here, you know, I could do myself, or if needed help, could simply just, you know, ask my brother to, hey, can you help me out real quick? So just little things on it. Compared to the Taurus or not the Taurus, the car that she had previously was a 2002 Hyundai XG350L. That one, it was a good car for the time that we've had it. We got it at 115,000 miles. We had it all the way up to 142,000 miles. And in that, about 25,000 mile period that we had it, it started giving us a lot of issues. Oil pressure light would continuously come on, even though we had changed the oil pressure sensor. We'd check the oil regularly, do oil changes regularly. I mean, the whole 9 yards. And it just wasn't something that, you know, we saw keeping for a long time. It was just something, you know, that we got into an entry-level car and built up our credit enough to know where we could get this car. But whenever we got this car, you know, the original asking price was, after all the financing and everything that all the dealerships added into it and everything, it would have been around $16,000 is what would have been paying for this car. But thanks to, you know, going and instead of looking at the most expensive vehicle that they had there, you know, okay, what's the cheapest vehicle that, not really, I wouldn't say really the cheapest vehicle, but what's a good entry-level vehicle? And it was between a 1999 Buick Regal GS, there's a 3.5 liter, or a 3.8 liter supercharged V6, front-wheel drive as well, and the Hyundai XG350L, which was fully loaded, had the leather seats. For being a 2002, it didn't have the touchscreen yet, but Had the heated seats, sunroof, telescoping steering wheel, CD changer, um, electric seats, electric windows, whole 9 yards on it, and it was really expensive to keep that one maintained. So it was, we figured it was gonna be a better idea just to upgrade, and that's why we got my wife the Taurus. Um, I was gonna have her help me do some of the videos, but some things have happened here in the last couple months that kind of suck. I don't need to go into detail on that. But anyway, um, so it is for about roughly paying the same price that we paid for the Hyundai, thanks to getting in that starter vehicle and keeping up with the payments on it, staying ahead of the payments on it. And not only that, like if something came up, would let them know instead of just keeping them in the dark. And then keeping our word when, let's say, hey, we got behind a week on our payment. Because with where we're getting our car, we are doing weekly payments. But, if we got behind a week and we said, hey, we're going to pay, crap, I can't quit yawning. We're going to pay, a double on top of next week so that way we stay current or anything like that. We kept our word on that. And we stayed in good standings with the dealership that we went with. And they've been real good to us. Where, every place you go to, they're going to have bad apples where, leaves a sour taste in their mouth. Same with when you're going to look at a car and buying a car, same thing with that. It just takes one bad dealership to leave a bad taste in your mouth. And so, like I said, it was definitely a big jump going from the Hyundai to the Taurus. The Taurus is a lot bigger, has a lot more space in it than what the Hyundai did. The Hyundai, I wouldn't even say the Hyundai was really comfortable because yes, it had the leather seats, but it was a hard leather. It wasn't, that like plushy leather that you want to sit on, where you're comfortable, you feel relaxed in the car. It was just uncomfortable. And whereas this car, it's up front, it's not that roomy. Like it's not meant for. Looking at it wise, you'd think it was meant for a bigger person, but it's not. It's up front anyways. It's my wife. She's a little bit smaller. She's about 140, 150, something like that. I'm not exactly sure how much, but that was based off like a year ago. So, but she's not really. She's a lot smaller than I am, and she fits in here comfortably. Has enough room up front. Whether she's driving or in the passenger seat, she got plenty of room. My little boy, he's got plenty of room in the back. When we're stopped somewhere, we're gonna be sitting for a while. He can get out and he can play with his dinosaurs or whatever he's wanting to do whenever he's back there to keep himself entertained. So it's definitely a lot better than what we had moving forward. So I'm gonna jump to another subject after saying that. Guys, if you're going to look at your first car, don't just jump into the very first car that you see that, intrigues you. Because that car could be the biggest waste of time you will ever have. If you can, find somebody who can do a Carfax for you where they can pull up the information on it. Like this one, asked a buddy of mine, or well, I don't really say a buddy, more of an acquaintance because I know him, but I don't know him if that makes sense. But he is really cool. He ran a Carfax for me. Yes, this car does have higher mileage, but I did find out through Carfax, it was mainly used for business purposes where they were driving long trips. It spent most of its life in Missouri. It spent from the time it was made and shipped. It was spent most of his life in Missouri. Um, had a dealership for a corporate person. Um, and then it spent all the way up till right about 100,000 miles in Missouri. And then next, uh, the next 30,000 miles or so, it had spent its life in northern Missouri. The first several thousand miles, it spent most of its life around Aurora, Missouri. And then up till about 100,000, then it got moved somewhere else in Missouri. And then the third owner that had the car, so I'll be the fourth owner of the car. The third owner of the car that it says registered to was registered to someone in Tennessee. So that's always nice to know. There's not a long list of people that have had the car before me, but this car has been mainly used for, business trips and stuff like that. So it's nice to know that most of the miles on the car are highway mileage. That's that's actually really nice, and I like that about it. So try and find somebody that can help you out with a Carfax. Um, do your own research on the car. You know, definitely make sure it's gonna be something that you want to keep for a long time. If not, then you may have to work your way up to that point where you may have to get like an entry level car or something like that, or even a mid level car, and then just work your way up. Get in good standing with the business that you're going to be doing business with. Because especially going through car dealerships, a lot of people don't stay there for a long time, and that sucks. But that's where I'm going to end the video at today, guys. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, if you're new, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you didn't like the video at all and thought it was absolute trash, you know what to do. Hit that dislike button. But on that note, you guys have a good one.